Surely we cannot find every answer to every question. So I recommend the David approach. I take the David approach with Israel. I know people today that want to parse their, it would be strong to say hatred of Israel or anti-Semitism, but they want to parse it with, well, no, I'm not against the people, I'm against Zionism in general. In other words, from the river to the sea makes sense to them. But God gave them that plot of land. From the river to the sea means extinguish national Israel. You know what it means, right? The river is the Jordan and the sea is the Mediterranean, and there's only a few miles in between there, and that's the strip of Israel. So I would say take the David approach. Now, if you remember, David was anointed by Samuel, the great prophet, to be king of Israel, but nobody knew it. Nobody knew that. Saul was king, who was also anointed by Samuel, but God had disapproved of Samuel. But he wasn't done with Israel. What did I say? Oh, Saul. Saul was disapproved. You're right. No, Samuel was a good prophet of God, and I do that a lot, so thank you for wives, Lord. Saul was disapproved by God. You remember these passages. Go back to 1 Samuel 16. And chapter 17 is the Goliath chapter. So a war ensued between them because David was a mighty man who people were beginning to follow, and Saul couldn't put up with it. But Saul was rejected by God, and Samuel had the sad duty to tell him that. You don't want to tell a king, this boy is the king now and you're not. It's a good way to lose your head as a prophet. But a prophet has to do these things, and so he did. So a war ensued between them, and on a couple of occasions, David catches up with Saul. One occasion, he's relieving himself in a cave. And that's what the Bible says. I put it in your notes. He went in to attend to his needs. I wanted you to know I didn't make that up to be funny. Saul was attending to his needs. David goes in there, sneaks in the cave with him, cuts his robe, runs out and shows it to the men. He could have killed Saul there, but he didn't. And he even felt bad that he took the piece of his robe. I reread it last night. He even thought that was too much to strike out against God's anointed. David knew he was anointed, but he knew Saul was at one time anointed by God, and he would not touch him, and he would not lay a hand on him. And eventually he killed the people who did. Just to be up to date on this. David merely cut off a piece of his robe, and he still felt he struck out against God's anointed. So I recommend great care when dealing with people and places and things that God has called holy. And what does holy mean? He's set apart for his use.